Да, здравствуйте и доброе утро. Well, um, yesterday we had our bounce and a nice little late day rally, mini rally. Sorry, man. As usual, did not sleep well and formed a supply here, which I would draw, but if you look to the side here, we formed another supply here. And look where we rejected. I don't know. Is it a coincidence or is this line legit? And we're back down. We lost 4194 again, and we're back down to 4188, which was the other support. So maybe we bounce again here, maybe we bounce again here, maybe we bounce again at our demand that was made yesterday, but that would be, I think, the last place they would want to go. But maybe we will have to dip lower. Maybe we'll bounce at the weekly. Don't know, man. Let's take a look, see at VIX. So yeah, this is why I wanted to go long yesterday, because we formed a supply in confluence with this daily where we rejected from yesterday on Tuesday and on Friday. And again, we had our rally. This was good. This was a good drop, which gave us the late day rally, which was a little choppy, but it happened. But then right before the market closed, we fell back down again. Market opened here and we're chopping sideways. I wonder if I have to adjust this line. Let me zoom out a bit. I don't think so. I don't know. So I'm getting nothing from VIX. And I can't imagine SPY is going to give me anything more, so no. And I really can't see any patterns forming. Maybe I can see it better on TradingView, but I did glance at it this morning and I couldn't really see anything. I mean, it appears there's something building up between our May low clones. Support became resistance, again resistance, again resistance. Didn't quite make it this time, which I would say is a bit bearish. And this is, what is this again? This was, maybe I shouldn't have got rid of the bottom piece. This was our channel that we broke out of. Wasn't it? I thought it was. Or was this the bottom of a channel that was formed? Oh man, I don't remember. Or maybe I just added it on there. I think you know what? I think I slapped it on there because Adam Mancini had it on there on one of his charts. All right, whatever. I'll leave it there for now. But it really doesn't seem to be making any difference. Although, yeah, I guess it hugged this spot here. But well, if it's legit, then we might bounce here. But I have a feeling if the market opens, we may end up falling and bouncing here at this May clone, or we may actually test 40166. Anyways, let's read Adam Mancini's tweet for now. This probably is about almost an hour ago. Good Lord, that girl is so hot. I'm sorry. Yesterday my core support was 493, 4193, 4188. Can't read without yawning. And ES continues to agree, as this has become an extremely messy 24-hour magnet trap zone. The next leg is being set up here. Plan today, 419385 equals support. It's a wide support. So it was 4194 before, but I guess now it's 4193. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this anyways, because it doesn't seem to be really making a difference. add more than a few touch points here, so this looks good. I'm not choosing the color just yet. As long as 4185 holds, 4212, 4221 in play. So 4212 is our next resistance, and it was an obvious spot yesterday, but now today, well, I have it here, 4212 and 4221. So that back at this resistance area here, where that would be on SPY, again, no idea. Have to just completely guess. And I gotta pay attention to emails coming in for work today because apparently I messed up. I uploaded a document for the electronic court system, and it was missing an exhibit section, and I was sent an email yesterday advised that my mistake cost the firm 30 days of discovery, and the opposing attorney used it against us, I guess. But the thing is why it's so frustrating working for this company is it's family, number one. Number two, they have characteristics of my mother who I've never really gotten along with. I just can't deal with my mother. I don't like talking to her. Her personality is grating to me. It's completely different from my personality. I don't like hypocrisy. When I explain something to someone, I make an effort to make sure they know what they're doing without being condescending. And that's not my mother. My mother will tell you to do something as if you know how to do it and just assumes. Like, I remember one day I went over her house to do something and I was leaving. And this is something I think mothers like to do. It's a passive aggressive annoying thing. When you are right about to leave, so I get in my car, turn the key, push the start button, start the engine, start backing up. Then she comes out the door yelling and then asks me a banking question that has nothing to do with me. And I had no idea what the answer is. And I said, well, I'm not a banker. I don't know how to answer that question. Perhaps you should call the bank and ask them. And she looked at me really angry and she goes, well, I'm not a banker either. I'm here thinking, well, no, but you have been in real estate for 30 years. You owned a real estate company and you work with banks. I was a cop. The only thing I deal with banks as a cop is if they call the police for fraud or theft or something. I don't know how they operate. I don't know that, it's just, so that's the kind of mindset that my mother has. She talks to you one moment like you're dumb and you don't know anything. And then another moment, she talks to you as though you should know these things, and how dare you not know them, and tell her the answers. And if you don't tell her, it's because you're just being a jerk and you just don't want to help, right? So this translates a little bit to my work here, where they ask me to do something, but seem to fail to recognize again and again that I'm not an attorney. I've never worked as an attorney. I don't understand 90% of the things that they do. I don't know what it even means that we lost 30 days of discovery. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what interrogatories mean. I don't know what many of the legal terms mean. I have no clue. And I guess I could go on Google and look up what this stuff means, but how much of it would help me to do my work? Because if you ask me to type up this document based off of another document, because obviously I've never worked as a paralegal before, so if you ask me to type up a notice of first request for discovery, da 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 da, I won't know what to do unless I have another document to work off of. So, for example, as I worked 15 years as an officer, so this is the only example I can pull up, I can use. Or I can even use personal training. If I take you, who knows nothing about designing a strength training program, who has no idea what exercises will affect what muscles, who has no idea what reps, what sets, what rest periods, da 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 da, Should you do upper body, lower body? What are protagonistic as opposed to antagonistic muscles? You have no idea how to do that. If I tell you design a workout program for about 3 weeks for a 79-year-old gentleman who has a little bit of osteoporosis or something like that, would you know how to do that from scratch? No, right? But if I give you a workout program that I designed for a 23-year-old who has no conditions and is an athlete, and ask you to take that program and adjust it and tweak it for that 79-year-old with, I forget, but just make it arthritis, will you know how to do that? Probably not, right? And if I don't give you any key information that you can use to make that transference, to make that tweak, to make the adjustment to that file, to that program, then you're just winging it basically. And that's what it feels like here at this work for me. They ask me to do things and don't give me the information I need to do it. But usually I'm able to pull it off. I can figure out where to find the information and I can try and get it done myself. But, I've been doing this for a little over 6 months, and most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I do the work properly. And one thing also, like for example, my younger brother, who's part of this firm, when we were younger, we would play Halo. And I loved playing Halo Reach back in the day. Man, this is like 15 years ago. Dating myself here. And I would enjoy coming home from work and, grabbing something to eat and then sitting down, and I'll meet up with my younger brother and a few other guys and we'll play Halo together. And it got annoying playing with my brother because he would often yell at me and curse at me. Be like, Kevin, man, what the hell, man? God, I hate playing with you. Why did you let that guy kill me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what guy you're talking about. And I think in that time you can actually go to the game and look at the matchmaking. You can watch like a review of the matchmaking and replay the entire matchmaking. And I sometimes would do that, and I would be nowhere near him, or I'll be being attacked myself by like 2 or 3 guys, but somehow he feels as though it's my responsibility. If he dies, it's somehow my responsibility. It's my fault. And that's just kind of how he is. He's quick to yell at you for something, and whether it's your fault or not, but not take responsibility for it for himself. That's the person he is. And there was a time where he would constantly complain about every little mistake I made. Every single mistake, he would point it out, and it was getting frustrating. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm venting about this. It's just vexing. So I do my best. I try, but you know, whatever. It sucks that when you when you specialize in something like police work and you do that for, over a decade and you lose that job, you leave that job, it's hard to transition into something else, you know? I mean, I don't know, if you work retail for a while and you were a manager at a store, it probably isn't that hard to get a job at another store. Maybe it is, I don't know. If it's a similar type of store. Um, but like if you go and spend 15 years working in the military and you don't work a job, you don't do like engineering or electrical work or whatever. What you do is basically reconnaissance or something. You go out in the field and you're just you in a small unit and you basically do recon or something like that. I don't know. How do you transfer that to real work here in this world, right? And when I left police work, I then went to school and I specialized in being a personal trainer and designing programs and training people. And um, how do you transfer that into anything else? You know? So if you work as a if I actually was a paralegal for 15 years, and obviously at this point I know a lot of the legal terms, I know what it means, I know when somebody says I need this document, I know how to write it up, why they would need it, how to tweak it for this case as opposed to this case, right? I would assume if I need to work somewhere else, I can work just about for any firm, right? Because there's plenty of attorney firms around. But can you transfer that to being a regular secretary, I suppose, because you work with these documents, Adobe and all these Word and these. I can't stand Adobe personally. I hate Adobe PDF, and I really don't like Excel. But if you have experience using that stuff, then you can parallel to other jobs. But as a cop, as a personal trainer, it's a pretty specialized type of work. And yeah. So my point is, I'm winging, I'm trying to learn what I can, but I'm not familiar with Excel. I'm not really that familiar with Adobe. I have to Google how to do things a lot, and I'm trying to wing it, but whenever I make a mistake, my family will be sure to shove it in my face. That's how they've always been. Oh, man. And again, of course, this is why I'm desperate to try and improve myself in this, in trading. Because if I can somehow make this into a side hustle, not a living, I don't think I would get to the point where I can be good enough to make this into a living unless A, I've got a really fat account, and B, I've got to have, I would say at least 10 years of experience trading to try and see um, what the market's trying to communicate. Like this book I was reading yesterday, and I'm enjoying this book, but I tend to, um, I don't know how to explain it, but when I left my work, it was a difficult transition and it was traumatic. And I don't know what happened to me, but there was a time where I could sit down and read a book for quite a while and get lost in the book, um, and enjoy it. Now, especially when I was in school, when I went back to go to school, I have trouble controlling my thoughts. That's not the way. When I read something, I can literally read the paragraph, read the sentences, and reading it out loud in my mind, or I can actually read it out loud like I'm reading, like I'm talking out loud now. But part of my mind is somewhere else, thinking about something else, which I think should be impossible, but it happens. My brain is actually doing two in tasks at once. I'm pondering how I'm going to pay for my rent, how I'm going to pay for this, how I'm going to pay for that, how I'm going to put food on the table while I was in school, while I'm trying to read um, the chapter about heart disease and heart failure and for exercise physiology, how does that transfer into training and whatever, whatever. And it was not easy. And I would often have to read the paragraph, sometimes two, three times. And then what I would do is I would make notes of what I was reading. Ironically, it would help when I would go to the gym at my school and get on the recumbent bike. That's the bike where you sort of sit on it and your legs are out in front of you and you're pedaling. And there's a section on the screen where I can put the book on the screen and read the book. And I ended up buying I got lucky, I got a used iPad at a really cheap price. So sometimes I would type out my notes on the iPad and then review my notes. And it turns out there's studies that show that when you're reading, if you are doing like a steady state exercise while you're reading, or studying, I should say, not just reading, not just fictional reading, but studying, like you have to memorize this information, use critical thinking for the information. You retain that information far better while you're doing steady state cardio than you would if you were just sitting in a library, right? Um, I found that fascinating, and it's what helped me because, again, when I was in school, there was a point where I was working about 35 hours a week doing security. I had a security company that was owned by a bunch of cops, and they were kind enough to hire me. Um, I wasn't carrying a gun. I was just patrolling graveyard shifts at a warehouse at night. And then during the day, I would be in school, and then I would sometimes train clients when I could. So I was working two jobs while I was in school full time. So that didn't leave a lot of time to do what other college kids do and just to hang out in the library and study. I would study in between my rounds at security, and I would study. Maybe I got to work out maybe 1 or 2 days a week because I was so busy and also I was so exhausted. But when I did work out, I would use steady state cardio and read my books or go over my notes, and it helped a lot. But what I'm trying to say is I have trouble focusing and concentrating right now. So this book I was reading, and I've been reading little by little, and I only read it when I work out. It it was saying that when you have a conversation with someone, right? Most of communication with another individual is actually nonverbal communication. The way their body moves, the way the way they might reflect your movements. Like if I was talking to a girl, and if I lean back and talk to her, and she leans back as well, whatever, mirroring, I guess is what I'm saying. There's a certain cues, physical cues that someone can give you that you can tell that they're interested in your conversation, or they really want to listen to your conversation. They find your they want to understand you as opposed to being bored or whatever. But the book was saying that with the market, you have to look at certain cues. So sometimes the market will say one thing, but if you look at other cues, it will say something else. Unfortunately, though, the book was giving an example of looking at the S&P, but also looking at other indexes. So for, let's say, for example, Tesla's rallying and Microsoft is rallying, but the S&P is starting to go down, then it's telling you two different things. You know, the S&P as a whole is going down, but these two I forgot I gotta look it up. There's another name for stocks, and it's not instruments, and I don't know what it is, but these two are going up. So in fact, look, Amazon looks like it's going up. Tesla looks like it's going up, even though the S&P is going down. So he was saying that sometimes you need to look at some of the regular stocks to get an idea of what's going on with the futures. So I don't know. I don't know about that. What I've been doing instead is I would look at the VIX in conjunction with what's going on with ES and SPY. That's what I've been doing. And I look at patterns. I do what Adam Mancini does, because I don't think Adam Mancini really cares about what other stocks are doing. Adam Mancini just does basic technicals. He looks at patterns, and he looks at how price action responds to the patterns and the levels to find out what to do. And here, I was right. I said that I think more than likely we would sell off to retest either this trend, this line, or this trend. So, knowing this, if I was big money man and I decided to take a short at the money this morning, which I guess on SPY is 418, 418. So if I took a short at the bell, and let's say they would, because they rarely would fill me in the first candle. Let's say I get in the next candle at 120 for 10 options, so $1,200, and then I scalp and sell here at, I don't know, 141, and that's weak, right? You're using $1,200 just to make a little bit of money, but if you scale out, then you take 8. What is 20 times 8? 160, and you leave the last two and see how far down we can go. Maybe we can get to 151. You got a little bit more profit. So instead of making $200, maybe it'll be 220. I don't know. But I mean, how many people can make $220 in under 5 minutes? It's probably gonna hit 151. You could put yourself for the last two at 151 and just scalp a little extra money, assuming this doesn't bounce. And if it does bounce, then fine. You put your sell limit at 141, and you still end up making your $200 after all. You put a risk to see if you can make a little bit more, whatever. There it is. It just hit 151. Actually 152. So now you've sold your last two options for a little extra scalp. Or you could have held everything if you wanted and said, hey, I'm going to sell everything. If you got in at 120 and you sold everything at 151, you just made 300 bucks. But yes, I know it. I know it's risking 1,200 bucks to make 200, 300 bucks is a lot. But everything I've seen with some of these successful traders online, that's how they do it. And yeah, it's pushing down even more. And did we push off a VWAP, I think? Yeah. So the morning started off with us pushing down from VWAP and it's just dropping. I don't think I even pondered the possibility of this thing rallying at the bell. I just saw, based on my little 5-minute analysis, that this thing was probably going to drop this morning. And look, could have done a scalp. So, well, anyways, oh, I did get an email. Oh no, I already looked at this, and this is not my case. But you know what? I might just try and calendar it anyways, just to be helpful. Yeah, I'm gonna work on this. So it looks like we may be turning around now. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I was saying, I don't know why. My gut tells me that bulls, the bulls would definitely not want to drop below this level, and they certainly don't want to revisit yesterday's lows. It would be in their best interest to not let that happen. Um, so we may end up forming a demand confluent to this trend, or just above this, maybe, and bulls might push this up further. Maybe. I don't know. I'll be back in a moment. I want to finish this little, I want to date this. All right. I'm confused here. Let's take a look at the VIX. We started out the day dropping, right? And we turned around here and look, just we're blasting down even lower than we've been before on the VIX. So I don't know if the VIX is leading the way, but it seems to be rallying now. Um, Unfortunately, this started right when the new candle started, so we've already blasted past VWAP. So today's drop looked like it was just a little fake. Um, oh my God, dude. If I if I go to the 420, the only thing I can hope for is that either A, I jump in now, and again, this goes against, this was my worry actually. I was thinking about this last night before I went to bed. I had a chance to trade Tuesday. I saw an opportunity, I didn't take it and missed out on the profits. I had a chance to trade yesterday. I saw an opportunity and didn't take it and missed out on profits. So I'm worried that I'm going to compel myself to make a trade I shouldn't do. But look, this, I don't know what this called. This, it's not a clean parallel channel, but remember what I said this morning. We're either going to bounce here, here, or here. This is exactly where we bounced. Exactly where we bounced. So if I had put a buy in here at the 420 strike for tomorrow, or better yet, using ODTE, is this an ODTE? No, I put tomorrow. No, I did use the ODTE. This is today. So if I had gotten in a couple options at $11, $12, which I could have afforded, and held up until say 26, 27 now and sold, bam, would have made 20 bucks, doubled my account right now. Easy peasy, done. But I didn't do that. And yeah, so we formed a demand, and I bet you it's a demand on the 30. Yep. Um, and you saw VIX is just dropping like a rock. So yeah, The only thing I can hope now again is that this candle closes, we form a demand, and we retest. But I don't predict a retest because of how far away we are. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the alert anyways, and see if we can come back down and retest this. And if I were long right now, I would have sold, excuse me, at VWAP, which I know wouldn't have been the 26, whatever, but I would, if I got in at 11, 12, I would have set my sell at 23, which is probably just above VWAP. Yeah, I know, but I wonder if we're at VWAP on SPY. No, we've already passed VWAP on SPY. Actually, that was first to go past. So, it would seem to me the next logical spot this will go to, even though it looks like we're slowing down, would be the daily. But I don't know. But yeah, it turns out that this channel here, this bottom trend, is confluent with the resistance here on VIX, and we were rejected here and went from 17 to 16 on VIX. So yeah, that would have been a good trade. But again, how would I have known that it was gonna go, unless I had decided to try multiple entry points. I tried one here, I tried one here, and I would try one at yesterday's low. And I guess I would have gotten filled here and here. And then I can scale out at VWAP, and then maybe the next one here at daily. I don't know. But we are now at the next resistance on VIX. We could just blast past through that one though. Here, which it looks like we're already pressing down below it. So, yeah, man. Another opportunity missed. You know, we could even work our way up to the top of this, but I would like to not reach that today. It would be nice if this would just maybe come back down, retest and chop a little bit, build up some energy, and then at some point tomorrow we break out of this and then we can rally. But yeah, I mean, tested it here, although this is the beginning, so I don't know if you can call that a test, but we tested it here, tested it here, tested it here, but then broke down. Let me zoom in again. Tested it here, had a decent bounce, broke down, and then fell. And worked our way back up into it overnight, tested it again before market closed, tested it again at 9, 10 o'clock, tested the top of the channel, and then had a hard sell from 6:30 till 9:30 or 9:45, and then bounced off of it, and now we're back up again. So yeah, let's try looking at Friday's expiration and see what it will. This is 420, so let's go to Friday 422 or 422.5. Let's try that one. I can't afford it right now, but maybe it can come down. You know what? Yeah, I'll try Friday. We'll see. If we get a retest, I might try it, but I wish I would have rather gotten in down here at 1920. Although honestly, I probably would have sold at 30 and just taken my 10. And I don't want to. I know I'm about to say if I had 10 options, I would scale up, but I don't. I don't have 10 options, so maybe I shouldn't be looking at Fridays. I should be looking at today's. I keep looking at non-ODTEs and missing out on opportunities. So let's go back to 420 for today expiration. This would have been a better play. And yeah, there it is. It's pushing higher. probably should have gotten in when it pulled back. And yeah, and let this thing ride up. So I'm yakking away and watching this. And we broke down that level on VIX. So yeah, this is pushing higher. So yeah. Dum. I should have just gotten back in here at 20, gotten back. I should have gotten in here at 21. And there it is, the daily. That's a good spot to sell. Maybe at 31. I don't know if we can get there, or if it did. No, it didn't. No, maybe I'll get lucky and we'll fall back down and do another retest. It's not just the daily, it's also 4194 is an important level. Bulls want to get, once bulls can get over that, then the next spot would be 4212, 4212. There's a reckless part of me that just wants to go ahead and put my buy in at 25 and see if I can just get in. But that's reckless. Or is it? Okay, it looks like this thing really wants to push, and the bears are trying their best to keep it down. My worry, though, is that this will not only break past this daily, but we'll quickly work our way up to the top of this channel, and then we'll finally break out of it. Maybe we'll chop sideways for a bit and attempt it, but we'll finally break out. It looks like the bulls want to close this candle above or at 4194, so they did that. They succeeded in doing that. And it looks like this candle is not going to do a retest. I wish it could. I really would like it to come back down and do a retest. But that's not my luck. And on VIX, we're pushing down even further. So, yep, there it is. So I guess maybe some positive news came out recently at 10 o'clock. But even if I wanted to put my buy-in here, I can't. I would have to try and figure out where that would be on SPY. And again, as I've proven many times, it's impossible to match the level on SPY with ES unless you're looking at it in real time. And there it is, pushing. Like I thought, no retest of any kind. It's just going to keep pushing. I remember the example I gave this morning of that short where you put in 1200 and sell at 1500 to make just 300 bucks. Look here. Using the ODTE and taking the bottom of this channel, if you could have gotten in at $15, let's say you got in late, you buy 10 options there for 150, so now you only have to invest 150 and sell at 35, 36, yeah, 36, there you go. You just made 200 bucks off of less than 200 bucks. Oh, could I be getting my retest after all? So now the question is, do I get in at 25? Or do I wait to see if this can push down a little bit more? We're approaching that resistance that we broke down on VIX. Could that be the rejection? I'm actually going to be greedy. I'm going to put my buy-in at 20 and see if the bulls can turn it around there. But then watch it drop even lower than that. Yeah, I should. Where? Damn it! I don't have the luxury of looking at SPY. If it was it was $11 here, and this candle started at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. We were at 17. Damn it! Yeah, I should have got in here at 22, 23. That might have been it. It wouldn't go any lower. Let's see if it can get close to VWAP at least. 21, 20. Oh, we broke above that resistance on VIX. It is possible though the bulls can turn it around and knock it back down. The question is, when will that turnaround come, and when should I get in? We're at VWAP now. I'm gonna try 18. I know it's probably not gonna hit. Probably being too greedy. It's already bouncing at VWAP, so 20 would have been the right one. I still don't see a reaction on VIX yet. Okay, now it's dropping. What do you think, guys? Should I put my buy in a little bit higher? Try 21, 20? Or is it risky? Alright, I switched to 21. You know what? This is making me concerned because I want to see. It should have been a bigger bounce by now. I still don't see a reaction really from VIX. You know what? I'm not going to be a coward anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and put it at 20. It's like my entire account. And I'm defying my statement about only trading breakouts, which I keep saying over and over again all week. Yep. I may have missed my chance. Alright, never mind. My gut tells me if there was going to be a strong bullish reaction, it would have happened by now. Ooh, that was a lot of sell. I guess people had their stop loss kicked in here, and there it is. Maybe I got out in time. I would be negative right now. I just wasn't feeling it. If I had gotten in, it should have been a bigger bounce there. But maybe this is going to be my true retest of the daily. I mean, of the demand zone. Wow, I rarely see volume this high. This hit 20,000. Are these people buying or selling? God, I don't get it. All right, this is the retest. This is a pretty close retest. I don't know. I'm I'm gonna try it. Nope, didn't get filled. Maybe if I put it at 16, I probably would have gotten filled. But I got greedy and chose 15. I gotta get water. All right, I'm gonna step back. This is what I wanted, though. I don't want it. I didn't want it to reach the top just yet. My gut is telling me this is gonna chop a little bit more, and we may end up retesting um, this demand zone area again, or we may even form a demand above this demand or slightly below. So the chance to take the trade was here. I should have gotten in at the bottom of this channel and then sold at 4194. We even peaked just slightly above it. So I could have even gotten to 36 if I wanted to scale out. But I mean, I couldn't scale out. Well, no, I could have gotten two options here. I could have got two options here as low as 12. I couldn't get much. I couldn't do 13. Could I even do 12? Yeah, I would have just enough to do 12. And then sold one at 23, lock in $10. Sold the other one at 33, lock in $20. So $30 for the day. That would have been good. Then called it a day and walked away. I mean, I would have to. I've used up my entire account. I would think that if we're going to turn it around, it would likely be when VIX reaches this level and it rejects, but maybe we won't even get to that point. I'm curious if we can revisit 11 here and if I can get back in at a couple options, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I might just put an alert here if we get under 12, just in case. Ugh, whatever, man. I'm so confused about why people hate the student debt forgiveness so much. And the argument typically is, I paid for my student debt, so you have to pay for yours. And then some people put up the argument, oh, well, if you buy a house and you got to make payments on the house, then if you don't make the payments, your house gets taken away. Right, that's how it works. And if you get a loan on a car, it gets taken away. But the difference is, a car and a house have practical use. Getting a degree may not have a practical use. And I mean, I know there are people out there that would end up putting themselves $50,000 in debt to get a degree in I don't know, some major that you should know you can't really make a living off of that. I can't think of anything right now, like some sort of social arts or something like that. Or philosophy. I don't know. You get a degree in philosophy, and I wouldn't know how you can, you know, turn that into a living. But my degree was in exercise physiology, and I had thought that having that degree would open a bunch of doors for you for, working for premium gyms and da 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 da. But the unfortunate lesson I've learned, and I wish I had known this before, and I wouldn't have gotten my degree if I had known this. I would have instead tried to get hired at a quality gym and work there as an intern, possibly. Um, and also, I would try to get hired and work for a um, athletic physical therapist or something like that, because you can learn a lot from a physical therapist. Uh, all right, you know what? I think we may be getting to a point where we're turning around. We may end up, so we bounced at the May low clone, and it looks like 12 would have been a good spot to get in. Yeah, it's turning around. I'm wondering if I should jump in or wait for this candle to close. We've got 2 minutes left. But what I was saying is that it turns out my degree is useless because when you go online and you look for gyms that are hiring, all they care about is that you have a certification. And some cases they don't really care. Some gyms are picky. They want like um, maybe two or three. They won't, no, they won't say they won't hire you if you don't have it. Yeah, I definitely should have gotten in. Damn it. That's a quick turnaround, man. And we're already pushed back down to almost below that level on VIX that we broke down earlier. I was watching this form. I should have gotten at 13 or 14. But anyways, there are some people who got a legitimate degree in the hopes that it would get them somewhere, and either industry changed or industry standards changed or whatever, and my degree is useless to me right now. And I found it hilarious that a lot of places didn't care. Like I was working for this one company, and I think it's called Fire It Up or Fired Up or something like that. I remember I interviewed, and it was I don't know if they're husband and wife or boyfriend girlfriend, and the guy who was in charge looked like he was in shape, but he was like 5'3" or something like that, and he had, I hate this term because I'm not tall at all. I'm like 5'7". But you know how sometimes short guys just seem to have to overcompensate and act even tougher? That's kind of how he was. And what was annoying to me about this guy is, oh, are we forming another demand? Oh man, you know what? I think I'm gonna try and get in. Wait, or is this gonna be a retest of the supply and a rejection? We retested demand, a little bit higher than normal, but we bounced here. All right, I'm not gonna stress it. Um, I had a group class in the building where he lived, and the people in that building lived in that building, obviously. And this is like early Saturday morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. I would have to be there, and I'll train this all these people. And I brought my battle ropes out and some other equipment, but we needed more equipment. And this guy had the equipment. And for weeks, I would ask this guy to bring this equipment by, and he would say that he would. And he actually had a reputation because some of the people in the class would take other classes with this guy, or that he was supposed to be in charge of. And he was notorious for being late or not showing up at all when he said he would. So he was kind of that kind of a leader. And I remember there was an event. It was not this is not the first event, but this is a big one. And when he introduces me to everyone, he introduces me and then says that I have my ACSM certification. He's like, yeah, he's ACSM certified, and that's one of the best certifications you can get in the country. And it is, it's a really good certification. And the irony is, there was a point to graduate that I would have to do an internship. And I was doing the intern at a pretty decent gym slash luxury hotel slash medical center. And despite being an intern and getting paid like, I think it was like $7 an hour or something like that, I still got Employee of the Month at one point. And this is like a 4 or 5 month internship, I think, or something like that, 3 4 month internship. And sorry, I'm just looking at VIX. And you know what? I completely forgot why I brought up the internship. I'm such a moron. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Now I remember. God, I'm old. Um, because it was basically a job in addition to having to do classwork, because I still had to do studying and whatever, I didn't study for my ACSM test. I just didn't have a chance to. And remember, I was also working part-time a little bit, personal training on my own, doing the internship. And every now and then, the security company would call me and ask me to do an event for them. So, and I had to do these things. I needed to survive for money. I had to. And I would even take up, when I was doing the internship, you can train as a personal trainer. Because I already had my certification with ACE. I had another personal training certification. Um, so yeah, I didn't have a lot of free time to study, and I didn't. And I think the passing rate for ACSM was like 30%. So like 1 in 3 people fail. No, 2 out of 3 people fail taking this test. So I thought I was gonna fail, but I ended up passing it, and that's a credit to my school. They would often teach me possible questions that you would find on the ACSM test. So I did pass. I will say this though, 90% of what's on ACSM, 90% of what I learned in school, useless to me in the real world, training as a trainer. Hold on, here's Adam and Sini. This is going to be a long video, I can tell. The 4190 magnet zone has posted living up to the name in ES, and 4 times in 24 hours now, ES has dipped below the zone, ran stops, recovered, pinned. Clearly charging up for a significant move, but needing a catalyst, similar to the 4150 pinning that preceded last week's 130-point run. What that catalyst will be, I don't know. But yeah, I should have gotten back in here and just taken what I could. I still could get in, but I don't know. Whatever. So anyways, this guy introduced me as having my ACS certification. He never mentioned that I graduated from school with a degree in exercise physiology. Never mentioned that. And then at one point I was working at Equinox. I think I told the story about that place, about how there was this South American, Brazilian, whatever, I don't know what she was, blonde chick that was just a terrible person. And apparently she was having an affair with one or more of the personal trainers that was there, and one of them ended up getting fired, and he went back to the gym and brought a pew pew, and ended up unaliving some people and unaliving himself. So that's the kind of drama that this girl brings to the gym with her behavior and her actions. Yet they continue to have her there as a manager. I guess because the customers love her. She's got, the big South American bum, and ironically, she left being a paralegal. Her husband's an attorney and went to work at Equinox. But you have to go through like a speech, like a thing that you take potential clients through, and you have to memorize it verbatim. And I had to treat her like that potential client. And then at one point you're supposed to talk about yourself. And I said, my name is Kevin. Just a little bit about me is I went to, this university. I graduated magna cum laude with a degree in exercise physiology, and I got my ACSM certification. And at the end of all of this, she's supposed to critique me and tell me what she thinks I should or shouldn't do. And she had the temerity to tell me that I shouldn't mention that I got a degree. I shouldn't mention it. She said that nobody cares. You're just bragging. That's what she told me. I'm like thinking, really? I mean, if I was a client and my trainer not only had a certification, but also had a degree in this, field, and he graduated with honors, that would make me as a potential client be more interested. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I generally mean that. Maybe people don't give a damn. And here's my point about the student loan thing. Nobody told me this before I went to school, you know? The impression I got was, hey, if you're a personal trainer and you have a degree, that's really going to open doors for you. And I can't help but think that's what happened with a lot of people who went to college. They were sold a lie. They were sold this lie that if you get a college degree, it's almost guaranteed certain doors are gonna open for you. But no, let me rephrase that. If you get a college degree, there's potential for doors to open for you. But if you don't get the college degree, you can forget it. There's gonna be no doors opening for you. That's the impression that I got when I was in high school and when I was younger. And when I was a cop, the only degree I had was an AA. And I got and my department actually required an AA. And if you had a BA or higher, your starting salary would be actually a little bit higher. right? So all of these little subtle hints tell you, hey, you should probably get your degree. Then you get your degree, and yeah, it's not worth the $40,000 in debt. So, and using the example of oh, if you take a loan out in your car and a home, you have to pay it, or you'll get your house or your home taken away. Well, that's an analogy. What are they gonna do? Take away my useless degree? How's that gonna hurt me? So, no. I see both sides of the argument. I really do. But I think people who are financially struggling like me, I can really use a student loan forgiveness. And even if I did get the 20 grand forgiveness, that still leaves me with about 28 grand to pay for that I still have to, cover. And I got no choice. I got to pay for that. And that will probably prevent me from owning a home or a bunch of other things in the future. So it's frustrating. But there's so many people out there furious about the idea of the student loan and saying that they have to pay for it. And hey, I understand that. But then if some wealthy tax cuts are brought out and wealthy people get these big tax cuts, you have to pay for that. So why not get upset at that as well? But one thing I've noticed about this country is people are very defensive about wealthy people when they're not wealthy themselves. And I never understood it. And then someone explained it to me. It's because in their minds, they believe that potentially, eventually, they're going to be one of those wealthy people. And making wealthy people to pay more taxes upsets them because it's an insult to their potential selves, which I found fascinating, but whatever. I don't know. Anyways, this video is getting too long. VIX, we've ended up turning around here. We're dropping back down. We're about to make a new low. So all my yakking, I should have got back in down here. Should have got in at 16, whatever. So I didn't. Whatever. This will be the third opportunity to trade that I could have made money that I didn't take. And look, we're back at supply and breaking through it and done. So yeah. What was it I put my buy-in at and I canceled it? 15? And I could have gotten up to 16. I think it was here. And I could have taken 16 instead. I could even got back at 16 here. And this thing's going to push up higher. I could put my sell at 27. Just make 10 bucks for the day, but it might even push higher. Once we break the supply and make a new high of the day, this thing's going to push. For a moment, I even thought about just getting at 25, using my entire account for that inevitable push. Because once it gets past the high, yep, there it is. It's going to push to 34, 35 now. So yeah. Another hesitation. Another time I talked myself out of a trade that I thought would be good. And once again, I've missed out. And there it is. Once we've made a new high, it'll push. We're going to push towards the top of this level now. And it's not going to reject this time. So there it is. I asked for a retest. It gave me the retest. I didn't get in when I should have. Could have actually gotten in 2 options at 12. Would have had enough to do that. Talked about it here. Could have done it here. Could have sold one at 23, locked in 10 bucks, and held the other one and sold that one at 33, locking in 20 bucks. The exact same thing I said about the other one here. And now we've reached another level on VIX, another resistance level. There it is. Oh, well. So we've broken past that next resistance level on VIX already. But we may turn around, I don't know. And now we're back at this level, and people who are smart are now selling. And that's probably why it's dropping down now. Oh yeah, and this is a psychological level, 4,200. I didn't realize that. So yeah. Probably all of this volume here was people buying in. Not, it probably wasn't just people selling, but people buying in. Smart people, people who know how to trade, unlike me, they were buying in, and now they're selling because it was so obvious, so clear, and I didn't listen. Could have gotten in two options at 12, could have scaled out like I said. Hell, I could have sold one at 33, making 20 bucks, and held the other one and sold that one at 43. Look at that. That would have been the perfect scale out there. But as I said, we would make our way back up to the top of this line. I am disgusted with myself, man. Just disgusted with myself. And this is my worry. My worry is that being determined to only trade based on this is what I want. I said I will only trade off of a pattern that was formed over the course of a few days. This is it. This is a pattern that was formed over the course of a few days. But I guess what I really was thinking is a break of that. So if this breaks out, then, I choose a higher strike, and I don't even know what that would be. I think 4122, so this weekly level here. So that means I would have to pick something further out that I can afford, but we have to actually see a breakout. Now, what I should have done is I should have taken this trade here when it bounced off of here, but I didn't, and I should have at least taken the retest here with a couple options at 12. Sold one here at 42, 43, and held on to the other one with a break even at like 32 or something like that to see if we break this level. Now the worry is that this could be a fake breakout, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So the next one I could afford maybe is this one here. So now it's a risky trade because this could be a fake breakout. This could fall back in. That's the risk if I take this trade. Or we can just chop sideways and flag, retest the test, or come up, retest the level again, and then it'll break out. That's the problem. I hate taking breakout trades, but that's what I said I would do. Any breakouts of a pattern. So here we go. There we go. Let's hope I don't get burned for this. I will try 31. Breakouts are risky because they can fall right back down. And our next level is 4212. We're not that far from there. I'm laughing because it just hit 31. I didn't get filled and now it's falling. I want to say that at this point it probably isn't a fake breakout, but it could still be. And 4206 was a level that we had to be concerned about the other day, remember? Look at that drop already. And unfortunately, we're turning around on VIX. So yeah, I should have put my sell at. Well, I did have my sell at 31. It hit 31, and fortunately, they just didn't fill me. So what can I do? See that? Now I'm in the negative. That's the risk about these breakouts. VIX turned around pretty strong too. I can only hope that the bulls continue to push so we can get out. We don't want to fall back into this pattern now that we've broken out. But I'm sorry, I'm tempted now to put my sell at 21, which could be filled very easily. And yeah, it's already back down. Yep. This is why I was worried about doing these breakout trades. It's very volatile and it can violently change one direction. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to put my sell. Let's try 18. Let's see if we can at least get some of our money back. Yeah, I know. I probably sold too early, but this is what I was worried about. It's probably going to turn around and I'm going to be pissed at myself, but it could just as easily fall down and then it can go from 18 to $8. That's the problem, and I'll lose my entire account. And I really can't afford to add to my account. And yeah, there it is. Damn it, man. Had I put my sell at 30 instead of 31, maybe, but then maybe I wouldn't have been filled because it did hit 31. You can see it here. It hit 31, but they didn't fill me. And now, of course, it's turning around, and watch it go up to 31 now. I'm so irritated. I just want to close this and walk away. Could have potentially made like 50, 60 bucks today if I got into the previous strike back when we retested here at $12. I wouldn't doubt if I go and look. Let's see how high it went after we broke out. This is 420. Yeah. Okay, we got the 65. Wow, dude. Just wow. Now, instead of losing money, if I had been patient and tried to sell here, when we come back up, I could have at least made a couple bucks and got my money back. But instead, I've lost like $5. Gone from 26 to 22. And of course, this is going to turn around now. Yep, and VIX is turning around now, so. Oh my god, dude. This is why it's better to trade before the breakout, sell some at the resistance, and then hold a couple of runners. So you don't have to worry. If the runners come back down, that's fine. You set a sell and lock in the rest of the profits you got from the runners. Sorry, I don't understand why if you tell someone the date of something, I have to also send them a calendar invite, and That means I got to figure it out on Outlook, and I don't like using Outlook. Anyways, I got something I got to do, and yep, here we go, guys. Just as I anticipated, it's turning around. It's going to grind its way back up, and I lost money when I didn't need to. I could have sold at 30. Well, I should have been filled here, but I could have sold at 30. I could have held, but instead I sold at 18, was it? Yeah, 18. If I held, I could have made $5. And this is slowly going to grind its way up a little bit higher. I think. I don't know. Lost $4, could have made $4. Oh my goodness, man. And had I gotten in back here, like I should have, when we're down to 15 here, freaking here, or when I was yakking away here, or even here, I thought about getting back in. I was saying how this is probably going to start to push and reach the top of this channel and break out, and didn't do it. Didn't do it. $65, man. Two options at 12. Two options sold up in the 50s. Could have made $100 today. I said I would only trade based on patterns made, and this is it. Pattern made, Kevin. Pattern made and tested, and then retested, giving you another opportunity, and then another opportunity to get in. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. Simply fair. Simply, that's the only thing. Just fair. Okay, if this guy is not going to be available at that time, then am I still going to do the... Anyways, this video is already long enough, guys, and I screwed up today. I screwed up, and I don't know what to say. I should have been able to make decent profits today. The market gave me exactly what I asked for, and I talked myself out of the trade. And then when I did get into a trade, I allowed myself to get spooked out of it. And I could have broken even or at least made a few bucks if I had been patient. But again, I let my fear rule me and lost money. So, yeah. I wanna play this. Hold on. Hold on. This is the guy from the exotic car hacks that I mentioned. I want you to listen to what he's saying.
You don't understand finance, or you don't. And if you don't,
Sorry, I hate Instagram. Hold on. I gotta start up.
You're either an idiot or you don't. This is true. Or not. Because there's a bunch of things making comments like, I don't understand, you forgot taxes. Ain't nobody forget taxes. Rich people don't pay taxes, you idiots. Poor people pay taxes because you're morons. Like, that's what it comes down to. There are legal loopholes to not paying your taxes.
Poor people pay taxes because they're morons. This is the guy I had sent a message to when I offered to give him free training if I can get, he wrote 3 books, if I can get copies of his books. And this is also the guy who says that he wouldn't be caught dead driving a McLaren 570S because it's a poor person's car. It's like a poor person's exotic. And I find it interesting, and I was sort of in this position when I was a cop and I had my NSX. Hold on, I want to put my headset back on because I don't hear this noise in the background. When I was a cop and I had my NSX, people knew me based on that car. You're a 24, 25-year-old kid, 26, 27. I think it was 27 when I got my other car. You have an S2000, an NSX, and a motorcycle in your own home. Now, I wasn't rich by any means, and I guess I'm a moron because I was paying taxes because, you know, I don't know what loopholes you can use when you're a cop, but I my wealth, my position, my cars, it it um it was part of my ego. It was part of what identified me, and that's bad. And then when all the bad stuff happened, when this girl screwed me over, betrayed me, stabbed me in the back, sold me out, lied to me, and I lost my career, my job, my home, everything, my retirement, I did something stupid. I took some of the money I had and I leased, which this guy is right, despite the fact that he's clearly got some issues. He's right. Leasing is a waste of time. However, the only other option you would have other than leasing is to buy a car that has so little, if no depreciation, that you can sell it back and not, you know, lose any money. But you have to get the right car, and typically they have to be exotic. So I can't afford an exotic. I bought myself an Acura sedan. I leased it in the hopes that I could make the payments, but then I couldn't, and the car got repossessed. Um, But I remember one day I was saying to some girl, yeah, I drive an Acura ILX, and she looked at me and she goes, okay, good for you. And I look back on it and I cringe, thinking, why would I say something like that? And I realized because my possessions became a part of who I am, who I was. Now, I mean, I drive a Subaru BRZ, which I think is much better than an ILX, but I have no desire to tell anybody what I drive. And if I became successful enough, God willing, if I can somehow figure this out and if I can get back into police work, which is a hope, I'm hoping I can do that later on this year, but I don't think I'll be able to. So I got to figure out a plan B. Um, I don't know. Let's say hypothetically I was wealthy enough to buy my current dream car, which is the Acura Artura. I love that car. I think it's gorgeous, not too overbearing, but I think McLaren stepped up to make a really true quality car with, I think it's like a 5-year full coverage warranty or something like that. And a coverage on the battery because it's a hybrid, but not like the annoying hybrids like a Prius or something like that. It took some of the best features from the McLaren P1 and some of the best features about the entry level, poor person's McLaren, like this guy says, the 570S and 720, and what brought it together into a great format. But anyways, if I lived in the penthouse of this building and I drove a McLaren Artura, and let's say as my sidecar I had my BRZ or some other sedan, it doesn't identify me. It doesn't define me. It doesn't make me who I am, and I wouldn't brag about it. And I think that's interesting. But his comment, he has an actual disdain for people who are not successful. And it's interesting because he comes from a rags to riches story, I believe. At least he says he does. He said he lived in his mom's basement or something like that. I don't know. Um, but you can hear the disdain in his voice. Like he really doesn't like people. And if somebody says, "Hey, I'm confused. You didn't mention the taxes," they're asking a question. They don't understand the system. Just explain it to them. Why get angry? I don't understand that. But it's no, I do understand it. It's because he identifies it. This is who he is. His cars, his wealth, it defines him. So and his business. So when someone questions him or his business, he gets offended and gets pissed off, which is fascinating. But anyways, um, I will say that clearly he's brilliant and he understands the system, understands finances very well. But I can't help but wonder if the current him was talking to the younger version of him and was talking in that way, how he would feel. Anyways, Adam Mancini tweeted, although whatever he's tweeting is too late. We know I messed up. Look, maybe it's a false breakout, but we tested the level again, and now we're pushing off. And now, like I said, if I had stayed in my position and just trusted, had faith in the system, even though there is a chance it was going to fall back in, but if I decided to just let it ride and let it run through, I could have sold at 30. It's going to get there. It's a slow drag, but it's going to get there. All right. Adam Mancini tweets, it's worth noting that Thursday-Friday strength has been a major recurring theme in ES since April 6th. Out of 8 Thursdays, Fridays were all significant. No. Since April, 6 out of 8 Thursday, Fridays were all significantly green, including notably the last 2. And he did mention this in his newsletter that we may get a strong Thursday, Friday rally. And here we are. Here we are. So this is slowly going to grind its way up to 30, 31 like I wanted to sell. What I could have done is I could have just put my sell at something less than 30, 31, hoping, but you know what? I'm not going to second guess myself. I set my sell at 31, and I was actually thinking that I might be selling too soon, that I'm going to hate myself for selling too soon. But instead, it hit 31, I didn't get filled, and it fell down to 16. So it lost half of its value. So it's hard to get mad at myself for that. And here we are. Now it's pushing. I have nothing in my account now. I used everything for that trade, and there it is. So I could have ended up selling at 31 after all, making my 10 bucks. Instead, I lost 4 bucks. So I'm sorry, guys. But hey, if anything you've learned, it's don't be a coward when you see the opportunity to take the trade, and don't do what I do. And if you make a conviction, if you state a convicted, I can't, I feel like punching myself. I can't focus right now. If you have a strategy that you're sticking to, you should use it. You should use it. I said I'm not going to trade unless I see a major pattern form, and then the price reacts off of that pattern, and that's what it did. We bounced off of this channel I found. We bounced off of it and then retested it, and I didn't get in. And there it is. There's the rally. Confluent to what I said yesterday based on the seasonality, confluent to what I said would happen if we broke out of this channel. I even said chances are we're going to break through this time. I don't think we're going to reject. I think we're going to break through. But I let myself get spooked out of the trade, and here we are. If I still held on to my original 20, I'll be $25 in profit right now. Now we're at 4212, which was the next level. Could have put my sell limit somewhere there now and gotten away with 20 bucks. With this option, all right, had I gotten in with the 420 back down here this morning when I said I should have, could have gotten 2 options at $12, although I don't think I would have been filled at $12, to be honest, now that I see how they did me with $31. There we are. So, yep, another long video of me yakking away and not taking trades when I should, and then when I do take the trades, I end up getting burned and losing money because I suck at doing this. Alright, I'm going to step away for a while, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to come back on here to complain about how high this thing is going and how much I don't want to hear myself do that either. Well, let's look at the slap in the face. Not only did we break past 412, didn't even really have a slowdown, didn't even have a cool off there. Continued going straight through to 4220, and we're pushing higher. Oh, and by the way, the $20 option that I sold for a $4 loss, and it is $4. You can't see it up here because I have it set up so that my code and my whatever is not up, it can't be seen on the screen. I didn't really do it on purpose. It's just I can't hold this and this, but I guess it's good that I do that. You know, I don't want anyone getting into my account and stealing $4.95 that I have now. Well, I mean, actually it's $22.95, but here's the thing. I was at $26.95 before I took my trade. I got in at 20, I got out at 18, right? That's $2. Plus it should be a $1 commission. Yet somehow I'm $4 down, and I'm starting to get annoyed by this. Thinkorswim is taking more money out for taking trades than they used to. How is it that I had $26? I take a trade at 20, I sell at 18. It's $2. $2. Yet they took out $4 out of my account. Again, I was at $26.95, now I'm at $22.95. So Thinkorswim apparently has increased their let's see. You can see how I barely get any people looking at my videos. Increase that's a lie. Zero commission, no platform fees, no trade fees, no introducing options, zero. 65 cents per contract. Okay. I need to call CD Ameritrade then because this is not true. They took $4 out of this trade. So anyways, I got in at 20. Let's zoom out to see how pathetic I am of a trader. I got in at 20, tried to sell here, which obviously would have been too early after all. It pulled back. I sold here at 18, and like a fool, didn't follow my own strategy, my own plan to only trade breakouts. And here's a breakout. Didn't give it time to work. And if I had not been an idiot and sold early, we got up to $95. We broke slightly past Adam Bencini's target of 4222. And he tweeted, but I'm sorry, I don't want to read it because it's just gonna make me upset. It's gonna be like, good follow through. My target was this, and we just hit, and da 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 da. That's what it's gonna say. I'm not mad at him. I'm just mad at myself, at my utter stupidity. I finally found a pattern. I mean, I found this pattern back on, I don't even know when I drew this. Was this yesterday I drew this? I think it was yesterday I drew this pattern. And or was it Tuesday maybe? I don't know. But saw this pattern yesterday. I guess maybe I lost somewhat faith in it because we fell below it, but we did recover it. We tested it again, and here we tested it and then finally broke out. And here's the typical strong move you would expect from a pattern breakout. I mean, I see the patterns. I see what needs to be done, but I don't bring myself to do it. I make excuses. I made excuses on Tuesday and I didn't trade. I made excuses yesterday, I didn't trade. And today, it gave me what I want per my strategy. A bounce at a pattern, a retest of said bounce, and I didn't take it. Then we broke out of the said pattern and I took the trade, only to let myself get spooked out and miss out on what could have been. I mean, look, if I sold at 91, that would have been $70 profit. Anyways, man, I didn't want to come back and do this, but I figured I should do an update so you can see just how fantastic of a mistake I made, just how idiotic it is. I stood here and watched this bounce at this area and should have gotten in and hesitated. And let's look at the original option that I wanted to get in, the 420. Remember, there was a point where it got to 15 down here. We had that sell off and we came back down and I thought about getting in and I put my buy in at 15, but it left me. But I could have gotten back in. I could have said, you know what, let's try 16. I'm gonna leave 16 and see if I get filled. But I was hesitant. I thought this supply might be an issue. It came back down and retested. We got 16 again. Oh my God. Here, it was here. I put my buy in here, didn't get filled, and I could have left 16, but you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have gotten filled here. But there's one point where it looked like it was about to push, and I thought about getting in at 24, 25 to see if I could at least get in there, but didn't. And man, I gotta say, I'm still really pissed that Thinkorswim stole money from me. This is BS. I'm gonna go back and look at my video, but I know for a fact I had $26.95. One trade shouldn't cost me $4. $2 was my loss, is what I'm saying. I lost $2 from the trade. I went from 20 to 18 right here. I bought in at 20, I sold at 18. I do not understand why that cost an additional $2, especially being that I only bought one option. So yeah, I'm a bit pissed off about that. So my EDC made me not follow through with my own plan. My EDC made me not take a trade. My EDC made me sell a trade that I did take for a loss when I could have potentially made quite a lot of profit. And on top of all of that, I got Thinkorswim, not gouging, but trying to jack a little extra money out of me. But then when you go and look at what their pricing is, these guys lie and say it's 0.0000. 65 per contract. 60. Mine's not broker assisted. There's no phone system. I didn't exercise any of my options. So I don't understand. And you know what? This is also a lie. It's not 65. Every time I've taken a trade, you guys have seen this. It's like $1, a little over $1. So is this 65 per per contract? What does that mean? Does that mean when you buy it it's 65 and then when you sell it it's 65? And even if that was the case, it's $1.30. It doesn't account for the fact that you guys took $2 out of my account for making a trade. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty pissed off about that. Anyways, I'm probably not gonna come back for a while, guys. I'm maybe we'll do an update before the market closes, but I'm pretty damn upset. So yeah, I know I said I wouldn't be back for a while, but I just want to show something. I didn't have my trading view shown on my iPad. I don't know why I didn't. Just stupid. Do you remember yesterday I added a clone of this line here in confluence to this bounce yesterday that we had? Well, look where this other bounce is. I mean, what an idiot I am. Why would I not have the screen open to look at this? I mean, I'm paying a monthly fee to have this chart. And what annoys me about TradingView though is you have to pay an additional fee to have the S&P futures. So you pay a fee just to use TradingView, but you have to pay an additional fee to use the S&P futures, and both in total is about $20 a month I'm paying. So, $220 something every year, and all I'm managing to do with this hobby of mine is lose money every day. And here it is. The only thing that I think is odd is, let me minimize this and then maximize this. I don't know how to look. I couldn't find this on TradingView. This right here. You see? If I try and look for it. Okay, there it is. There it is. God, I was trying to really look for it, but I think what was happening is I was trying to find the top portion, and I couldn't find that, so I gave up and not even bother with the bottom portion. Again, stupid, stupid. There it is. Not quite. It was here. That's where it is. Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Let's double check. Yeah, these guys didn't hit. It was this one. I'm sorry, guys. It's pointless for me to even do this. The pattern's already been broken. There's no point in even doing this, but I just need to do it for my sake. It's not this one. It's this one. There. But here's the trick about drawing these trends also, is which one is it? Is it this one where it touched here and here? Or is it this one where it touched here, here, and here? Or is it this where it touched here, this broke out, but touched here? So a clean touch and maybe even here. And one could argue it's this one, because look, we rejected here. These are all false breakouts, but I don't know. I've learned with trends, just don't stress yourself out of it. Look for major reversals, and the most recent one is probably a good idea. So this is where it started. These didn't. This broke out, so this could be. You can argue this is a false breakout. This is probably true resistance. We didn't quite make it up here at all up until last night. And this is the most recent one, so this is going to be the most recent point of resistance. And once we break out of this point here, where we touched here, then we started the rally. And I can adjust it slightly, a little bit, and it's probably exactly where most other charts are seeing it. Because look, this is where we bounced here. I mean, it's an assumption. It's purely an assumption. But if I wasn't an idiot and I actually took the time to try and find this like I did on Thinkorswim, I would have noticed that we had a confluence of an important level, 4181, the bottom of the channel, and the May clone. All of these should have said, dum-dum, take this long. And if you can go more than one option, do it. If you can exit one option here, just in case, to lock in profits, do so. Hold on to the other one. It really is so painfully obvious. The only excuse I have for not doing it properly is laziness, fear, and stupidity. I had a conversation with my cop friend, called me a moment ago, and he can tell that I was frustrated. He's like, "Yo, what's good, bro?" And I said, "Man, I don't know, bro. I've been at this for almost 3 years, and I've improved in that I can find levels and patterns. I haven't improved in that I can't get myself to take the trade when I need to take the trade, and then I find myself exiting the trade too early." And I said, I don't think I'm a stupid guy. I think I'm fairly smart for the average guy, but I keep effing up. And he laughs. He's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm stupid, but I keep effing up." And I guess he was trying to say maybe you are stupid. And I actually sat there and thought, maybe he's right. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe this guy earlier this morning is right. If you're poor, then you're a moron. And if you're rich, then you're brilliant, you're a genius, and you don't have to pay taxes, and life's good, and you're the superior of everything. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's true. But I do know this is I'm stubborn as hell, and I keep trying. I keep pushing. And I guess the only analogy I can think of is I'm trying to spar with a master, and the master keeps doing the same feint, the same tricks, and I keep falling for the same tricks, but I'm beginning to see them, and before I couldn't see them. I just need to move properly and time my movements properly. And every time I get knocked down, I still get back up. But, the body can only take so much. You can only get knocked out so much, knocked down so much. But yeah. So anyways, just to recap really quick. So far at this channel, we're bottoming out, and if I have to recall what that channel was, uh, I can't. I remember it being the top of a channel that we were in before, but I really can't remember. I had removed some of it. It's the bottom of the channel that we're stuck in for much of, I think, March or April, and then we broke down and broke back in and whatever. So I don't know. For now, it looks like we're sort of bull flagging under it, but yeah, there it is. It'll break through. See this 200? Yeah, that's the option I wanted to get in this morning at 15, but didn't get filled and should have gotten in later. So if this is 200, you can only imagine what the other one is. The one that I sold, the one I got in at 20 and sold for 18, and then ended up getting a $4 loss. Yeah. Yeah, it almost hit 120. So, and it's going to. It's going to. On the VIX, we're now approaching the current low of the year. So, yep. Oh, yeah. Let me back up a little bit. Remember the megaphone on VIX? Yeah, we're about to approach that confluent with the current low of the year. Yeah. I really don't have anything else to say. I'm just so disgusted with myself. And you know what? If I had sold at 31, where's the other one? Here. If I had sold at 31 like I intended to and made 10 bucks, I'd probably be just as upset as I am now, but not as upset because at least I made money. I would just be thinking, yeah, I do what I always do. I get in and I sell too early. And, left all of this on the table. But every time we form a pattern and we break out of that pattern, this is what happens. This is like the fourth or fifth time I've shown this. So, anyways, right. I think it's about time I do another update. This might be the second to last one. But, yeah. The option I originally got into, the one I lost money on because I cowardly jumped out of it when we sold out. And, it's funny. If I remember, we fell back in. Oh, this is on the 30. Let's put this back on the 15. We fell back into the pattern, and I sold somewhere here. And then, of course, we bounced and just rallied from there. Oh, man. On VIX, we're sort of hovering just above the yearly low. Just chopping sideways, grinding, even though ES is slowly grinding up. 4112 didn't even slow it down. 4222 was the next level, just above this weekly. We were grinding just below this level here, and now we're having our late afternoon rally, pushing up even higher. And again, had I gotten in with the original option I wanted to get in, and not been so cowardly and pushed it in when we dropped back down here at 12. Though I don't know if I could have gotten in at two options at 12, but at one point I even thought about getting in way freaking down here at 15. This was about the time we broke out of the pattern, and at that point you would just want to walk away and leave runners. And here again, see, I even put my alert here, and I can get rid of this one clearly. If I had gotten in where I should have gotten in at 15, if I could have gotten in at 10 options at 150, exited 8 of those options at the break of the pattern, and then left the 2 runners. Those 2 runners alone would bring in more money, right, than the actual 8 that I sold earlier. Anyways, I told myself I wasn't going to do this. There is a positive voice in my head saying, listen, you're finding the patterns. You're able to find them. You just need to trade them and hold and be patient. But the funny thing is, I said that to myself last week when I missed out on the last 2 pattern breaks. And this is the only pattern that's formed this week, but then again, Monday was a holiday. So we had Tuesday and Wednesday, and then today was the day. 2 days of build-up. Today was the day. But Adam Mancini always says, don't stress yourself out. There's plenty of other days to trade. It'll happen. So, the funny thing is too, I drew this pattern and I didn't even give it proper sizing. I left it at 1 because I didn't have enough faith in it, simply because it wasn't a perfect parallel. And that's something else that's been hurting me with trading, is I am too much of a perfectionist, and as part of being an INTJ, I love beauty and symmetry. I love harmony and balance. And this pattern had a breakout here above and a breakout here below. So it gave me trepidation about how much to follow it. But as you can see here, rejection just below it pre-market, bounce exactly at it just after the market opened, and rally. I'm not an idiot. I'm not. I know I'm not. It was right there for the grabbing, right there. I keep saying it, that if I can just make one good trade like this one, if I'd have got in at 15 and sold, even if I sold at 115, I made $100. If I can make 1 or 2 trades like this and get my account at a decent size, I can consistently make 1, 2, 3 good trades per month. I can build this account. If I can build the account, I can grow the account. If I can get better at this, but I don't know. This is a repeating thing now. How long have I been making these videos? I think I started these videos. It was an FOMC meeting that I started these videos, and I think it was at some point last year. Has it been that long? Have I been failing at this for that long? Has it been a year? Man. Alright. I'm blown away. I went online to check, and if I'm not mistaken, my channel's only been in existence for 3 months. Guarantee you this Adam Mancini. Anyways, I can tell you what he's gonna say, that his target was this, then the next target was that, and it's already blown through, and now we're gonna go to the next target. And you can see it just continues to push. It continues to push. And again, imagine the beauty of it if you were not as dumb as I am, and you had some balls and you traded accordingly. You said, you know what, when the bell rings, this is probably going to pull back and reach another point before it starts to rally. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be even lower. And you see this made, and you see it turns around and starts to rally. You see the demand form, and you're like, all right, that's it, we're going in. And at 115, when I could have gotten in and I didn't, you would say, no, I'm sure about my plan, so if I can get in at 15, I'll get in at 20. And you put in 120s, you go in for $2,000, right? You sell around the break of the pattern, and you've made now, when did this pattern break? 1045, 1045, 1045. All right. You see the break that it comes out there in the pattern. Let's say you decided to sell at 45, I don't know, somewhere around where the pattern is about to break. And you decide to sell at 45, you sell, I don't know, 90% of your options to lock in 90% profits. Fine, whatever. You've made close to $2,000 right there. So you've already made your investment, right? You decide to leave 10 options on the table still. 10 options that were bought at $20 and they're still on the table, right? Piece of garbage, thinkorswim. So now you've made another $2,500. What am I saying? You've made $2,300 off of just those 10 options alone. The first 90 gave you back all your profits. I know I'm doing the math wrong. But you know what I'm saying. Just your runners alone can make massive profits. And there it is. That's how it works. It's beautiful pouring rain outside. Apropos to the situation now. I gotta get better at this, man. Gotta get better at this. What a juxtaposition I'm in, right? Where I'm telling myself I need to see confluences of patterns before I can trade. It has to be an edge before I can trade, and then it's there, and I talk myself out of the trade. And then we broke out of the pattern, and I got in, and what happens? It flushes back below with a fake breakout. It made a fake breakout, and it spooked me and made me sell. And here's the insult. Let me go back to 21. I'm sorry. Here's the insult. Where is it? Christ, where is it? Right. Here's where I had intended to sell, and ended up selling here. Right here. The lowest it ever got was 16. That means the most I would have been was $4 out of the money. But the volatile moves spooked me so much that instead of just stepping back and letting it play out, and having faith in the system, right? Having faith that the pattern was about to break and was going to start to rally. The fact that I had to do this, God, I really don't like thinkorswim. And maybe that's why I'm getting charged more than I should. Maybe they're purposely raping me extra money. I know I shouldn't use that word. I just screwed up this video now by doing this. It's probably going to be shadow banned, whatever. But it just irritates me that I buy one option at 20, sell it at 18, and twice the amount of commission is charged to me. That I'm still irritated about that. But it's fine. It's fine. One day I'll get so good at this, right, that I'll talk about what trash thinkorswim is, and I'll go ahead and use another account, use some other brokerage or whatever, because this irritates me. But in any case, there we go. I actually sat back and watched as it was chomping sideways and thought, wow, is there any way I can use this pathetic $4 I have to try and make another trade? Should I pick a further out option, like maybe the 423 or something, and try and get in? But then how far will it push? How much of a risk would that be? And considering that, we have an hour left before the market closes, and look, I can choose the 424, and maybe I could have gotten in a few minutes ago and made a couple bucks. Maybe I could have made up for my losses. But watch this, watch this. If I want to get in at $4, oh, somehow I can. Look at that. Interesting, right? Interesting. So if I can get in at $4, then that means what they were saying before, 65 cents. It's 65 cents to buy an option, 65 cents to sell the option, right? And 65 plus 65 is $1.30. So if I get in at 20 and I sell at 18, I still don't see how that makes up a $4. But I'm gonna go check my video again. I'm gonna check the video again, but I'm pretty sure that this was at 26.95 this morning. In fact, I'm certain of it. I know for a fact it was 26 because every time I kept thinking about getting in, I thought I can get in at 25. That's the best I can do. 26 was what I had, and now I have 22. 26.95, and now I have 22.95. So I lost $2 in commission, and they took exactly I lost $2 from the sale, from the trade, and they took $2 from me. Unless I'm wrong, but it says right here, 20, right? Sold at 18. It wasn't a market buy, it was a limit sell. Sold at 18. So, I don't know. But hey, bottom line is, I screwed up. Best case scenario would have been here. Look at this. If I had put my buy-in down here, not that I would know how to put the buy-in exactly at that spot, could have gotten 5 options really. No, 4, because I wouldn't have enough money to pay for the commission. Nope. You know what? That's right. I wouldn't have enough money to pay for the commission. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and ponder what I could have done. I need to focus on the future. Anyways, this video is way too long and it's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's a day of rallying. The market has literally rallied ever since 9:45. We've been sort of rallying. Really more like 10:30. And somehow I'm the only absolute imbecile that managed to get a loss on a day of rallying like this. And one thing too, I shouldn't have jumped in so soon. If I had waited just to see what'll happen. And you know what? This reminds me of something that Adam Mancini says when he wants to go short. And for me, going short's tricky when we break out of a pattern. Let's say today this was the opposite. Let's say instead of rejecting here, price dropped down to here and then rallied up until 10:15 here and then rejected hard, right? And you might think, all right, this is a good time to go short. But then what Adam Mancini says sometimes is he wants to wait for a retest to play it safe. So we'll come back up again, almost test the resistance and then fall back down. Or let's take it the reverse. Let's say we fell out of here this morning. Bell rung, we just fell out of here. We bounce at the weekly or yesterday's low. We come back up and we retest the bottom of the level, maybe even come back in it and reject off 40181 and then come back down. That's when you take it short. I think that's what he's been saying. So that's the reverse. When you have a breakdown, you want to see a bounce before you take it short. Here we have a breakout and we have a retest of the breakout and then it rallies. I got spooked out of the trade on the retest. And that's the whole point of the retest, to spook out those that lack conviction. And I bet you I wasn't the only one who sold here. And everyone who sold here, no, I was going to say by everyone selling, it makes it go back up, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. I guess maybe the market makers are making this spook back down so that people will sell and get more liquidity, and the market makers will buy those sales and bring it back up. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think 3D chess here of how the market works, but I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. But I should have waited a little bit. I was only $4 in the hole, and yes, it was getting very volatile. But I should have been patient and been willing to lose at least half of the investment. I should have put the sell at 10 or something like that. And then once I saw it go back up, I probably would have put my sell back at 32. But then again, that would be the other mistake I make. Mistake number one, selling to getting no. The mistake number one is getting too spooked and not taking the trade, or when I do take it, I sell too quickly for a loss, especially when there's a clear edge. And number two, when I'm in profits, I take the profits too early. So if I had not been so scared to get spooked out of the trade and kept on my position, number one. Number two, if I stood back and watched and let it work, let it play itself, let it play out. It's gonna break. This is a break of a pattern that's formed over the past few days. This is what I've been waiting for. Let it play out. If I had done that and then put my sell at like 120, which wouldn't be the whole entire move, yes, but hey, I'll be back to where I was before I took money out of my account. I'll be back to where I was. It might make up for some of my losses. Let's see what I've got for the full year, though. I'm curious. Let's see what are my losses. Why give me the fun print damn thing if you never let me do it? Apple piece of garbage. I'm still irritated. These piece of garbage thinkorswim people tell me that I've only lost $2. Overview. No, it's not an overview, is it? Is it in positions? Yes. So yeah. So far for this entire year, I don't know if how true this is, I've lost $320 exactly, according to these people. And something else I want you to notice. Remember yesterday I tried to get into a trade with a limit buy and it just didn't fill me? And you saw today I tried to get in with a limit buy and it didn't fill me? And then you saw I tried to sell with a limit sell, it didn't fill me? This is the most liquid option you can use, is the SPY option. And somehow when I'm using thinkorswim, I can't get filled with one option. I've made it clear I don't like this program. I really don't. I don't know what else people use out there, but yeah. Anyways.